Welcome back to Eric Reacts with more Game of Thrones. This is Season 5, Episode 4, The Sons of the Harpy. So it looks like we're going to get our first big showdown between the Sons of the Harpy and Daenerys. I'm wondering if this will be like a physical attack or more of a political one. We know the citizens are not too happy about Massador's death, so maybe the Harpies try to capitalize on that. Or maybe it'll be a more direct attack. I don't know how big the forces are of the Sons of the Harpy. We haven't really gotten too many clues on that yet. Meanwhile, Tyrion was captured by Jorah. I just kind of want to see them both be confused about what the other person is doing. Like, what? You're not taking me to Cersei? You're taking me to Daenerys? I was already headed that way. What? I don't believe you. Etc, etc. We also have Cersei plotting against Marjorie with the Sparrows. That could be a pretty big alliance, but I also think that the Sparrows are not the best people to ally with. They are fanatics for a reason. Interested in how that'll turn out. And then I'm hoping Pod and Brienne will intervene at Winterfell and get Sansa the heck out of there. I don't want her to suffer anymore. I'm dreading how Ramsay will start torturing her. She doesn't even know about his sadistic nature yet. Like, she might suffer more here in Winterfell than in King's Landing when Joffrey was king. So she might actually even have, like, developed PTSD associated with Winterfell, and I don't want to have her feel that in her own home. So, not ready for this. Hopefully we get some happier moments. Maybe Arya will get some training in. I'm not sure she's been taught anything real just yet. And hopefully that woman who was like hitting her before will figure out something about her and she won't be like a complete nuisance to Arya. But let's get started. Oh, Jorah. He gives him money. He's buying the boat. They're on the same side. It'll be interesting to see when they notice that.
We're not kidnapping that princess. We're rescuing my niece, bringing her back to her family.
Niece?
Your niece?
He's like, we're still playing this game?
It has to be me.
He needs to make up for...
You set your brother free, didn't you? I bet your sister didn't like that.
He murdered my father. If I ever see him, I'll split him in two. And then I'll give him your regards.
Oh. He really does feel betrayed by Tyrion?
No, we must arrange better terms with the Iron Bank.
Absolutely.
In person.
In person?
Me?
We must send an envoy to the Iron Bank, someone of importance, to show these bankers our respect. As the King's Master of Coin, I can think of no one more qualified.
I would be honored.
He's ordered Samarin to personally lead your escort.
To Bravos?
My very own King's Guard. Please express
Safe
my...
travels, Lord Tyrell.
Just cuts him off every chance. Arya's there, though. He's on her list. Meryn frickin' Trant.
Perhaps the gods need a sword of their own. In the days before the Targaryens, the faith militant dispensed the justice of the seven.
You're gonna give them an army?
Militant.
Too often, the wicked are the wealthiest, beyond the reach of justice. The king himself
Like you.
cannot always punish those who deserve it most.
What the Jeez, what the
There's a special place in the seventh hell for your kind. Please!
Loras! No.
Seize him!
Cut them all down! Cut them all down!
Get your hands off me! Loris!
Why is my brother in a cell?
I don't know. I didn't order it.
We both know who did.
You say my mother's behind this?
Obviously.
She's jealous you're not hers anymore.
Aren't you and mother getting along?
He doesn't know anything. You know nothing, Tom and Baratheon.
His Holiness is praying. He will not be disturbed.
Order your men to cut them down.
Give the order, and we'll clear out this rabble.
Get behind your people.
You're an abomination!
Oh.
Born of sin!
There was no way to free Solaris without violence. Will you come back later?
I need to be with my family, Your Grace.
Good.
Jon Snow.
Commander of the Night's Watch.
Bastard by some tavern slut.
Perhaps. But that wasn't Ned Stark's way.
What does that mean? Perhaps. He doubts that Jon is Ned's bastard?
How many men does this Lord Mason have to send us?
More than Lord Wibberley.
Wibberley? Like 2?
Not him.
I know. I'm sorry, but we need men and supplies. And Roose Bolton's the Warden of the
You
North.
murdered my brother.
We swore to be the watchers on the wall. We can't watch the wall with 50 men.
You can't watch the wall if you have people you can't trust
We
working
can't
with
get
you.
more men.
Don't you want to chase the rats out of it?
More than anything.
Castle Black is my home now.
Oh.
Do you feel my heart beating?
He feels his own heart beating probably
There's
too.
power in you.
There's power
Where is it?
in him? What kind of power?
You're not joining. There's power. The power to cast shadows.
Cast
I don't think
shadows.
Stannis would like that very much.
Then we shouldn't tell him.
I loved another.
Still
The
love her.
dead don't need lovers. Only the living.
I know. But I still love her.
So she says he has the power to cast shadows. Does that mean he... With what Stannis said earlier about... Oh, jeez.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I got chills.
Are you lonely?
No.
Just bored.
I
My
have
father
dogs.
used to tell me that boredom indicates a lack of inner resources.
Were you bored a lot too?
I know Castle Black is no place for a child.
I like
but
it. I thought I'd be left at home. I know Mother didn't want to bring me.
Why do you say that?
She never
Told me I don't want to bring you.
Oh, wow. He's trying to treat her right, but he can do a better job.
Are you ashamed of me, Father?
Wow. You had to think about that? Or he's trying to think of a way to show her?
I still remember how you smiled when I put that doll in your cradle. And you pressed it to your cheek.
Is that how she got the grayscale?
By the time we burnt the doll, it was too late.
Damn.
Everyone advised me to send you to the ruins of Valyria to live out your short life with the Stone Men. I told them all to go to hell. I called in every maester on this side of the world. They stopped the disease and saved your life. Because you did not belong across the world with the bloody Stone Men. You are the Princess Shireen of House Baratheon. And you are my daughter.
Come on, hug her back. Stop standing there so stoically. Aww. Stannis the Manus. Stannis the Dadus.
I thought I might find you here.
You don't belong here.
When Rhaegar won, everyone cheered for their prince. Until he rode right past his wife. And he lay a crown of winter roses in Lyanna's lap. Blue as frost. Stannis Baratheon garrisons the Castle Black.
Oh.
He'll march south to King's Landing before the winter snows block his way. But first, he has to take Winterfell. He's the finest military commander in Westeros.
Oh,
The betting
yeah,
man
he is.
would put his money on Stannis.
What if you're wrong? What if Stannis never attacks Winterfell, or he does and the Boltons defeat him?
Then you will take this Bolton boy, Ramsay, and make him yours.
How does she feel about that?
The North will be yours.
Can't row. That was amazing. Did he and Bronn cuddle? What? Whoa! Oh.
Breakfast.
Yikes.
How many you count?
4.
How many do you think you can take?
1, if he's slow.
Oh! That's 2 down already. Bronn is good. Oh god. Oh. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. He didn't even mean to do that. He was just like, no, I don't want to die.
You had a wonderful teacher.
You had a wonderful teacher. You can't get it out. Oh, damn.
Not taking it to your sister?
That was easier than I thought it'd be.
You said you were taking me to the Queen.
I am. Queen Daenerys Targaryen.
I was
the queen I serve.
I was already headed that way.
Bare sigil breastplate.
Ah, he figured out who he is already.
You're Jorah Mormont. Oh, wait. You were spying on her, weren't you? It's all coming back to me. She found out, didn't she? Found out and exiled you. You think Daenerys will execute me and pardon you? I'd say the reverse is just as likely.
Ooh. Is he putting his gag back on? Oh!
And he'd sing, just like all the other minstrels.
And what did you do?
I made sure no one killed him.
Will you be joining us, Sir Barristan?
I think I can protect you from his Dar Zolorak.
I think I can protect me from his Dar Zolorak.
Go, Sir Barristan. Sing a song for me.
Aww. Oh. And she's pretending. She's pretending. They can get so easily surrounded here. Run, go back out the way you came in. Just by sheer numbers, they're gonna lose. Come on, Grey Worm. People run one way, he runs the other. No! I think he might be the last one left. Barristan Selmy. Oh, we finally get to see him fight. Oh, that music. To the... Oh! He might be done. God damn. Alright guys, a really great episode. Jorah starts sailing to Meereen with Tyrion in tow. I'm very curious what Jorah's plan was before he happened to stumble across Tyrion. But he seems a little bit more impulsive and maybe a little bit more ruthless now. Knocking out the man for his boat, knocking out Tyrion. Perhaps being with Daenerys calmed him a little bit, and now he's back to his old ways, or maybe this is the way he has to be to survive on his own in this world. But I agree with Tyrion. I don't know that Daenerys forgives Jorah that easily, just by bringing Tyrion to her. But yeah, and then we have Jaime. He says he'll kill Tyrion the next time he sees him. I don't know that I buy that. It never felt like he had that much love for Tywin. So maybe it's partially like an honor thing because of kinslaying, but maybe Jaime is just getting some frustration off his chest to Bronn because he feels betrayed. But yeah, Bronn and Jaime are discovered by some Dornish guards, and Jaime does have some trouble fighting until he uses his golden hand to block an incoming attack by accident. I think that's something he can definitely practice. And I was also very impressed with Bronn. Took out those 2 Dornish people in like seconds. And then we got a scene with Ellaria getting the Sand Snakes ready to get revenge on the Lannisters by taking Marcella. I recognized Jessica Henwick from Iron Fist, didn't realize she was on this show, so it was nice to see a friendly face. The Iron Bank is asking for repayment, and King's Landing can't afford it. Cersei says they have to arrange better terms with the Iron Bank in person and sends Mace Tyrell, and he was just like, me? And Cersei said, like, we need someone important to do it, to show respect. And Mace is so easily satisfied. Like, stroke his ego a little bit and he becomes like 100% compliant. I can see why Olenna thinks he's an idiot for sure. And then Cersei reauthorizes the Faith Militant. Separation of church and state is not on the minds of many leaders in this world. And she's obviously using them for her own gains. She made them move against Loras because he's a sinner. I feel like they're going to go do things that she doesn't want, though. They're I don't think their goals align as much as she thinks they do. But Cersei has a ton of power right now. Using the king's name in the small council lets her decide everything she wants. And then the Faith Militant, she sends them into brothels and kills some of the patrons. Cersei really doesn't care who she hurts. I feel like that would also be... The attack on the brothels also have to be considered an attack on Littlefinger. He's not an enemy you want to have. Though honestly, I don't know that he cared that much about the sex workers or his establishments anyway. Now that he's Lord of the Vale and friends with Roose Bolton, I don't know. And then Cersei also has the Faith Militant kill or capture all gay people as well. Moving against the Tyrells like this, against Marjorie. Marjorie goes to Tommen, and my god, he knows nothing. He thinks his mother is just like a very sweet woman, and that she and Marjorie were like the best of friends. Ah, sweet Tommen. Tommen tries to free Loras, to his credit, but Cersei was like, oh, I didn't do it. I'm not holding him. Knowing the Faith Militant would start a battle even against the Kingsguard, and knowing Tommen would avoid violence if possible. And Tommen is just a child, so it's hard to ask that much of him. He does realize that the people are against him because he's the son of Jaime and Cersei, and he realized it would be too dangerous to act against the Sparrows in that moment. So I'm guessing the Sparrows have been indoctrinating like the regular citizens in that regard too. Yeah. So Jon is asking for help from different houses to gather help. He's asking for help to guard the wall, and Sam has him ask it of the Boltons. It's true that they need help and that Roose is the warden of the North, but how can you possibly trust them? Like, even though Jon is a bastard and is sworn to the Night's Watch, Bolton men still, I feel like they could still have a lot to gain by sending a spy instead of an actual person for the Night's Watch. Stannis is currently there. Does he want Bolton's men up here? I don't know that it's a good move. Melisandre drops by, and after Jon doesn't have sex with her, she says that he knows nothing. I think that really shook him. I have a few thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts about something Melisandre said, and I actually recorded them before I started editing, and I'll put that at the end of this discussion. And then Shireen, she's had a sad life. Mother who basically despises her. She doesn't even know if her own father really cares for her. She asks him, like, are you ashamed of me? To have to ask that, that's painful. But then Stannis tells us about how she got grayscale, and I'm actually curious if he had that merchant executed. But what a heartwarming moment telling her how much she means to him. It's great. And then Littlefinger is leaving for King's Landing. Cersei will certainly be none too happy about the situation in the north. We'll see if he manipulates things in his favor, but he does tell Sansa that Stannis is coming, and that even if Stannis fails, she will learn to control Ramsay. I don't see that happening whatsoever. And then we had that final fight with the Sons of the Harpy. They went through a lot of those Unsullied. I honestly expected more out of the Unsullied. It feels like they were being cut through like butter, except for Grey Worm. And then Barristan shows up. We finally get to see his skill on display for like 30 seconds before he gets taken down too. That looks pretty serious. He got stabbed back, here. I'm not sure if he and Grey Worm are even going to be okay. I think Grey Worm only had like his only serious injury was like right here. But I don't know. If they lose both of them, it would be a huge blow. Either of them, but both of them, 3 of Daenerys' top 4 fighters are gone. Jorah's gone. Barristan looks like he's going to be at least down for a while. Grey Worm probably needs time to recover too. Only Daario would be left to defend her, really. And all the other Unsullied and Second Sons, but... I don't see them killing off Grey Worm yet, simply because his story with Missandei doesn't feel finished. But Barristan... I mean, I'd love for him to have some sort of vengeance against the Lannisters, but I don't think he has that same plot armor that Grey Worm has. And, yeah, like I was saying earlier, guys, I saved this part... I saved part of this discussion for the end, even though I recorded it before I started editing. I've actually got theories about Jon's parents. Please do not confirm or hint at whether or not I am correct, though you can share what your thoughts were at the time. Okay, so before I edit this episode, I want to talk about something first because I feel like we got some strong hints about John's parents, and I think you might enjoy watching me try and work it out. You can laugh at how wrong I am later, I'm sure. But first, we had Selyse and Stannis talking, and what did Selyse say? She said that John was a bastard born to some tavern wench or something, and Stannis was like, perhaps, but that wasn't Ned Stark's way. So I can't believe I never thought about this before, but I never considered that John might not be Ned's child. Like, it's very true that it's very, like, not Ned, un-Ned for him to cheat. Like, even when Varys came to see him, he was just like, oh, you think my life means that much to me? Like, his honor was meant more. He wanted to tell the truth that Joffrey was the son of incest. So he was willing to give up his life to keep his honor, at least until Varys was like, what about your children's lives? So he valued honor so much. I don't know that he would cheat on Catelyn. Yeah, I don't know that he would cheat on Catelyn. That's a very good point, actually. Yeah, Stannis made a good point. But then that raises another question. If Ned didn't father a bastard, why would he pretend Jon is his bastard? I guess, well, yeah, there was a second thing in this episode that might answer that, which is when Melisandre is seducing Jon, she says that he has the power to make life, the power to make light. Was it life or light? I don't know. But the last thing she said was that he has the power to cast shadows, which I feel like is a huge clue. We got a glimpse of this, her being interested in him before because of his like power. When she was bringing him to Stannis, she was just like, oh, like touch my face, it's so hot. And like, oh, you're not a virgin? Good. But yeah, she couldn't have been clearer this time. Like, I don't know what the power of light or life, I don't know what that's about, but the power to cast shadows has only been done by Stannis, as far as I know, at least. And it was a big deal at the time that it was because he had King's blood. So if she claims Jon can cast shadows, shadow babies, that means she knows he has King's blood in him. So the question is, now which king? Huh. Okay, I feel like there are a few options, so let's start ruling them out starting with like the least likely first. Least likely is probably King of Assos, because I don't think we've ever heard of there being kings from Assos. I think they're just like cities that are being held by slave owners and masters. So yeah, that would also not be very interesting, and is no explanation for why Jon would be in Westeros. So we can rule that out, I think, pretty safely, that he's not Jon isn't descended from an Assos king. What else? Baratheons. I'm going like reverse order. Baratheons. He does have the black of hair thing, but Stannis wasn't given a son, and Melisandre was the first time he cheated. He strayed. Renly never had sex with a woman. Robert. Could he be Robert's bastard? I don't think so, because why would Ned need to bring one of Robert's bastards home to raise as his own? I don't know. What other kings do we have? We had the War of the Five Kings, so we had Balon Greyjoy, Joffrey, Stannis, which we said no. Okay, first Balon Greyjoy, no. Who were the other two kings? Robb and... who am I forgetting? Renly. Okay, so Renly's also out. So Robb. He's not Robb's son, obviously. Oh. That's actually a pretty simple explanation for everything, but that would make everything I just said like inconsequential. And it's so disappointing. It's so anticlimactic. Okay. So in this case, Ned really is Jon's father, and John shares blood with. That means John shares blood with Robb, who was the king of the North. So John has the king of the North's blood in him. Yeah, so yeah, that would actually make a lot of sense. Huh. That makes a lot of sense. But actually, does it make sense? Does it count? Because Robb never actually, the North never actually gained independence from the Seven Kingdoms. So is he actually king? I guess that's not clear. Let me think about it. Yeah, I mean, it was referred to as the War of the Five Kings. Does that mean all of them were actually kings? Like, do you consider Balin Greyjoy actually a king? I don't. They were considered usurpers by some, so what qualifies as, like, actual king? I don't know. But I feel like, at first when I realized that this might be the case, I was like, that might actually be true. But now that I think about it, it's such a letdown. Like, trying to figure out Jon's lineage was like, oh my god, that's so exciting. But then, oh, Robb's king of the North. That's anticlimactic. I feel like that's too anticlimactic to be the answer. Like, that's just, writing-wise, like, George R.R. Martin would make a bigger twist than that, right? Okay, so let's ignore that possibility right now that Jon has king's blood in him because of King in the North, Robb. I feel like the only option left is Targaryen. But he's not the son of Aerys, otherwise everybody would have known about him and Tywin would have killed him when Tywin came in. Unless he was out of the city for some reason and he was hiding. No, it doesn't make sense. We did hear in history and lore that the Targaryens had like civil wars, but I think they said Barristan Selmy like defeated some of them. So were there any other left? Maybe Jon's the son of one of those. But then I guess why would Ned take in a Targaryen Targaryen baby in the first place? So I guess maybe not. I guess it also doesn't make sense because all the Targaryens have white hair. Aerys, Rhaegar, Viserys, and Daenerys. Yeah, they all have white hair. Are there any others? Actually, does Rhaegar have white hair? I don't think we've seen him before. I mean, we haven't seen him before, but did we see him in like history and lore? Rhaegar. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe they all had white hair because of all the inbreeding. Maybe if they married somebody who doesn't have white hair, they would actually have their children would have different colored hair. Actually, yeah. Rhaegar married Elia Martell. And they had 2 kids, I believe. 2. And we don't know what colored hair we didn't know what colored hair they had. And then Rhaegar left Elia for Lyanna. Wait. Oh, no. That's ridiculous. No. Wait. Hold on a second. Rhaegar and Lyanna? Did they... I've been saying all along that it's ridiculous that Rhaegar would leave his wife. It's ridiculous for any king or prince to leave their wife for someone they kidnap. Did Lyanna go willingly, and did they have a child? Okay, wait. My mind is going like 1,000 miles per hour right now, because if that's true, then... Oh my god. Oh, wait. Okay, are there any contradictions to the fact that... Are there any contradictions to this idea that Jon is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna? I'm not sure. Okay, if Rhaegar and Lyanna wanted to be together... Actually, if they wanted to be together, why didn't they just come out and tell people? That would have saved Lyanna's father and brother from having to die. They wouldn't have started this war. Yeah, wait, shoot. Why wouldn't they have tried to avoid this mess by telling people? I guess because Rhaegar was married to Elia, Dorne would be pretty against this. And I think Lyanna was already betrothed to Robert Baratheon. So the Stormlands might rebel as well. But I mean, telling them would have worked out better than just not telling them and resulting in this war, right? Huh. But yeah, I mean, everyone was going to find out that they were... Yeah, I don't know. Let's say they went the route of, oh, let's elope together and not tell anybody. Like, you try to hide your relationships from the Martells and the Baratheons. But when they were find out, why didn't Lyanna... Oh, my brain hurts. Oh, why didn't Lyanna tell her brother and father the truth before they went to Aerys to demand her back? She must have tried, right? That doesn't make sense. Why? She could have prevented a war. She could have prevented their deaths. Maybe she really was kidnapped and raped after all. But I don't know. That doesn't fit with what Barristan Selmy has been saying about Rhaegar and how upstanding he was. He was talking about how Rhaegar was like singing in the streets just to make people happy. That's not the... Okay, I don't want to say that's not what people who... Like, I don't want to say that people who do that don't rape people, because they will, but... I don't know. Maybe somebody else stopped Lyanna from telling people? But why would they do that? Because it would lead to war. Who would benefit? Who would benefit from that? Like, thousands dead? Chaos everywhere? Oh my god. Oh my god. Chaos is a ladder. No. I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that Littlefinger was that far ahead of the curve that he prevented Lyanna from telling Brandon Stark and Rickon Stark. Is it Rickon? Rickard Stark. I refuse to believe that Littlefinger was that. No, wow. I think Littlefinger had just lost to Brandon Stark, so... But how crazy would it have been if he was the one responsible for that war? My god. Alright. I feel like there are too many details there that I can't figure out completely. But I think this is it. I think Rhaegar and Lyanna are Jon's parents. I mean, just the fact that I was so excited when I first realized that this was a possibility means like it's a really strong move, storytelling wise. Oh god, I want it to be true. Like every other possibility would just be like extremely anticlimactic now. Like in Star Wars Episode 8, like Rey's parents. Oh, who were they? Not important. Okay. But like even if it's true, I don't know that it matters if Jon is their son. Because Ned was the only one who knew about it, and there's no way to prove his lineage. Oh yeah, why didn't Ned tell Catelyn if this is the case, if this is true? Why wouldn't he tell her and like allow her? Why would he allow her to hate Jon for so many years? That's forked up, man. But yeah, even if Jon is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, Ned is the only one who knew about it. I guess Melisandre knows, but who's gonna take her word for it? Who's gonna take her word for it? And if this is the case, he's the legitimate heir. Oh wait, he's a bastard still, I guess. He's still a bastard, so I guess it doesn't matter. But he'd have some claim to the throne, more than Tommen, more than Tommen. Just not as much as Daenerys, I guess. Let's see. I don't know. I said near the beginning of the series that I'd like to see Jon on the throne, but that was because of who he was as a person and not him having a legitimate claim. But yeah, how can Jon even find out? Like, Can you imagine George R.R. Martin not revealing it at all throughout the entire series, and then someone asks him after the show and the books are over, like, oh, who was Jon's mom? And he's just like casually, oh, it was Rhaegar and Lyanna. How screwed up would that be? Just toying with us. But yeah, only Ned knew. Melisandre know. Actually, Melisandre might not even know. She might not just know that he has king's blood. She might not know which king, and I don't know. Who else could find out though? And is there any way to prove it? Oh, the three-eyed raven could figure it out, and he could tell Bran. But yeah, no one would believe that. Like, oh, your brother is saying that you're king. Yeah, big whoop. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't really matter that he's Rhaegar and Lyanna's child, because like story-wise, it's really amazing, but he's not going to sit on the throne because of it, because there's just no way people will be able to prove it. All right, that's probably way in the future anyway, but I think this is really it, guys. It makes too much sense that he's Rhaegar and Lyanna's child. Wow. I obviously, don't tell me if I'm right or wrong, because unless you're meant to already know, I don't know, guys. But yeah, I feel like there was too many hints this episode for it not to be. Or maybe the writers are just purposefully making this a red herring. But I would be so disappointed if it's not true. Alright, guys. I'm going to edit, and then maybe I'll have more to say after that. Thanks for watching. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching me go through all that. I really want to talk about it with you guys, but I still want to avoid spoilers. What did you guys think at this point in time about Jon's parents? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts were after this episode. And for this episode, I'm going to give it 4 direwolves, partially because the revelation that Ned might not be Jon's father, and the fact that he might have some royal blood in him. But the other thing is just that there were so many funny moments in this episode. Jaime had some great moments. Bronn looking at him like, why are you not helping me row this boat? And Jaime was just like... And him not being able to get the sword out of his hand after he catches it, he's just like shaking it. Tyrion with his... and George is getting sick of it. But that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you can't wait to watch the next episode, make sure to check out the early access option on Patreon in the link in the description below or over here. I've actually got the next 3 episodes up already. Bye, friends.